A power shift is underway in Augusta, with Democrats ready to put new leaders in charge of Maine's House and Senate.
That's one more result of last week's elections, with Democrats winning back control of both chambers 2 years after they lost them to Republicans, setting the stage for some potentially anyway, major clashes with Governor Paul LePage.
News 13's Brad Rogers is live at the State House, where Democrats have selected their picks to take over as House Speaker and Senate President. Brad?
Yeah, right, Adrian. Senate Democrats tonight have chosen Portland Senator Justin Alfond to be the next Senate President, replacing, of course, Kevin Ray. And over on the Speaker of the House side, the new Speaker is going to be Representative Mark Eves from North Berwick, replacing Robert Nutting. Now, tonight, Eves is already talking about seeking out Republicans to break from Governor LePage and do what's best for Maine. House Democrats tonight say the people of Maine have spoken, and the people want things to change here at the State House. Newly elected Speaker of the House Mark Eves and others say it's time to put Maine's middle class first.
We will have to look for opportunities to forge alliances with our Republican allies and colleagues to get them to break with the governor in order to do what is right for Maine people.
On issues from the economy to health care to education and more, Democrats pledged to make good on the promises made in their collective campaigns, like the promise to a single mother now making $9 an hour.
But her concern is for her children, that they get a quality education that she knows is critical to their success.
Imagine a day when people could actually go to work and come home and spend time with their families over dinner. And for too many Maine families, that's not happening because they're working straight through dinner. And they're still not able to pay the bills.
The newly elected Speaker of the House says job number one is creating good-paying jobs for Mainers.
A focus on jobs. I think building relationships with new legislators, building relationships with the new leadership and the governor. That's job number one.
Job number two, it seems, may be to get Republicans to break with the governor. But that may be easier said than done. Outgoing Speaker of the House Robert Nutting says both sides will need to give and take.
We will do good things in the next 2 years, and we will do some of them together. And there will be some division between the governor's office and the two chambers in the legislature, but we will accomplish good things.
Well, House Democrats say tonight that the days of hurting Maine's poor and middle class are over. Meantime, the newly elected Senate President Justin Alfond is hoping that Governor LePage and Republicans work together with Democrats. As for Governor LePage, we're told he had no comment tonight on the new Democratic leadership in the House and the Senate. Reporting live at the State House, Brad Rogers, News 13. Greg, Adrian, back to you.
Okay, Brad, thank you very much for that update. Changes are underway in Washington as well, where Angus King is preparing to take over the Senate seat held by Olympia Snowe for 18 years.
Yeah, King met with Snowe yesterday in his first full day down in Washington since the election. Today he met with Senator Susan Collins, exchanging pleasantries and a few gifts.
I understand you don't drink coffee. I may not be here every morning to make your tea, but this is a tea maker.
Whoa, thank you.
After that, it was all business, including how to best work together to serve Maine and which party the independent King is going to caucus with. King says he's close to a decision and that regardless, he will work with both parties to solve problems. Senator Collins says she hopes the King is going to caucus with the Republicans and says she believes he's going to work well as a bipartisan member of Congress.
I certainly hope that he will make a decision to join our caucus, but regardless, I am positive that he will not be an automatic vote for either caucus, and instead will look at the issues on their merits and will attempt to reach across the aisle regardless of which side of the aisle he's sitting on.
The important thing is that whichever decision I make, Senator Collins stated it very well, I don't consider that building a wall between myself and the other party. When I was governor as an independent, I worked with both parties, worked sometimes with the Democrats, sometimes with the Republicans. During one 6-week period, I had both parties picketing my office. I thought maybe I had it about right.
King has said his decision about which party he's going to caucus with will come soon, with indications that decision could come as early as tomorrow.
It's welcome news for some parents and students in Portland.
And members of the school board are announcing that renovations are going to happen to 4 elementary schools, including the demolition and replacement of a school that was recently damaged in a fire.
News 13's Catherine Underwood is following the story. She joins us live from Portland tonight with more on that. Catherine?
Well, Greg and Adrian, the school board has brought in an architectural firm from Biddeford to start surveying all of these schools and coming up with more specific plans for all of these projects. Now, school board officials say after the fire here at Hall Elementary School back in September, the need for upgrades and expansions was even more apparent. Today, the school board announced that Oak Point Associates out of Biddeford is now on board to lay out the plans to rebuild Hall and upgrade or expand Presumscott, Lyseth, Reike, and Longfellow. Now, parents we spoke with tonight expressed concern about some of the older buildings in the district, and the school board agrees. It's saying it's time to address safety concerns like no sprinkler systems and some other issues, just one being overcrowding.
She's gone to many different schools in many different districts, and I've seen how the atmosphere that is created by a school and by the energy of the teachers, but the actual buildings and environment make a huge difference to her attitude towards learning.
Now, the project is expected to cost somewhere around $46 million. The school board has promised to keep the public in the loop throughout the entire planning process, and the board does hope that all of this goes to a vote by next November. We're live in Portland tonight. Catherine Underwood, News 13. Greg, Adrian, back to you.
All right, Catherine, thanks for the update.
Well, we have an update tonight on the Kennebunk prostitution case. There is a new list of Johns out today, and this one has a twist.
Well, this new list of men pled guilty, that is, to the charge of engaging a prostitute, according to the York County Coast-Star. The 4 men pled guilty and did not have their names appear on the public list of alleged Johns released by the police department.
Now, meanwhile, the 2 principal figures in this alleged prostitution scandal will be tried separately. That's a decision from the judge after both defendants had their lawyers file motions to not be tried together.
Mark Strong's case is scheduled to begin in January. Wright's trial will begin sometime after that. Both Wright and Strong entered not guilty pleas. You can see this latest list on our website, which is WGME.com.
It's day 5 in the interstate bakery strike in Biddeford, and tonight those workers say they are not backing down. Workers say the bankrupt company is unfairly cutting their salaries, benefits, and pensions. Hostess is closing facilities in Seattle, St. Louis, and Cincinnati, and they're blaming those closures on these strikes, saying they're making the company's precarious financial situation worse. Workers don't buy that. They claim the company planned to close those plants all along. An employee we caught up with today says a lot has changed there over the years.
We got shareholders owning this company, not John J. Nissen like we used to have. He used to walk through the bakery and shake people's hands and tell them they were doing a good job. We don't get that anymore.
Hostess has faced declining revenues for years, with people moving away from foods like Twinkies and Wonder Bread. The company admits the cuts they're forcing on their employees are, quote, tough, but they insist they're necessary to pull the company out of bankruptcy. We'll keep following it for you. Well, funeral arrangements are being finalized now for 4 family members in Orrington in one of the most deadly fires in Maine in the last 20 years.
Well, this picture of the Johnson family was taken a few years ago and is posted on the family's memorial page on Facebook. Investigators say cardboard boxes left too close to a wood stove started the fire over the weekend, killing a father and his 3 children.
Yeah, but this wasn't the only wood stove fire over the weekend. News 13's Jana Varnello joins us live in the studio with an important warning coming from firefighters tonight, Jana.
Greg, Adrian, fire investigators say these fires didn't have to happen. We've talked about the Orrington fire, but a wood stove fire at this home in Augusta also left a man in critical condition. Investigators say 38-year-old Michael O'Leary tried lighting a wood stove with gasoline, and here's what happens when you do that. This is a YouTube video showing just how flammable gas is on a wood stove. The state fire marshal's office says you should only light a wood stove with paper or kindling. Now back to the Orrington fire. Fire Marshal Joe Thomas says the family left pizza boxes next to the wood stove and that caught fire. 30-year-old Ben Johnson and his 3 kids ages 9, 8, and 4 died from smoke inhalation. Thomas says to avoid something like this, you should keep 3 feet of space clear surrounding your wood stove.
We're taking every possible step that we can to re-emphasize those safety points to people. And we're simply asking them, pay attention to what we're saying.
The state fire marshal also confirmed today that the Johnson family in Orrington did not have working smoke detectors in the home. The fire marshal is urging everyone to check those detectors and make sure they're working in your home. Greg, Adrian, back to you.
Hopefully no more tragedies, Jana. Thanks so much. Well, according to that Facebook page set up for the Johnson family in Orrington, Christine Johnson, the only survivor in the fire, is now out of the hospital.
The page also says they're planning a fundraiser for the family December 9th. You can find the memorial page by going to our Facebook page. We have posted a link there.
Now, your Weather Authority forecast with Charlie DePresti.
All right, the rain is moving out and cooler air is moving in. I captured a nice time lapse from our Raymond Sky Cam today, where we started with some rain, of course, on and off rain showers throughout the day. It was just mainly cloudy. And then, of course, the sun made an appearance very late in the day, just before the sun set, looking off to the west from our Raymond Sky Cam. One thing you probably did notice today is the temperature setup. Hey, we topped out around 60 degrees, but that was early this morning. Temps have been falling 1 to 2 degrees every hour, and temps are situated in the mid-40s right now. Dew points are in the 30s. Winds are out of the north, still a little gusty. I expect overnight lows to easily make it into the 20s and 30s. Tonight's satellite radar shows a front moving offshore. In the wake of the front, the wind has shifted over to the northwest, west-northwest. With that setup, we have cooler air invading out of Canada, and it looks like the cooler weather will stick around for most of the week. In fact, all of the week, with sunshine dominating, but temps struggling to get much out of the mid-40s. Here's a look at tonight's Doppler HD. We're tracking some of the rainfall moving offshore. A few areas heading over toward the mid-coast, particularly Penobscot Bay. Still a few lingering rain showers there, but skies are clearing out for everyone else. The big story going forward will be the sunshine and cooler temps. Say goodbye to the rainfall. That is long gone by tomorrow morning. In fact, skies are clear. Temps are starting in the lower 30s. At 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Notice the beautiful sunny skies right through the afternoon. Tomorrow's going to be a fantastic day, but if you're looking for those 60s we've been getting comfortable with, it's not going to happen. That will be a distant memory by tomorrow. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, mid-40s for highs. We'll have a little bit of a breeze out of the north-northwest. That will gust at times over 20 miles per hour. Another chilly start to the day on Thursday, 7 o'clock in the morning. Again, sounding like a broken record. Lots of sunshine. Notice the lack of clouds. Temps again in the mid-40s. Seasonable temps for this time of year. Normal high is in the upper 40s, and we should be right around there right through the weekend. Plenty of sunshine Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There'll be a few clouds drifting through from time to time. Our weather does stay quiet during that period, with temps staying seasonable. Overnight lows, especially inland, will be in the 20s. There will be more clouds rolling in Monday and Tuesday, that with an onshore flow or onshore wind. The time frame we'll need to watch after that will be the Wednesday-Thursday time frame, and the reason for that, it looks like a storm is going to try to develop, but the big question is it stay out to sea, or does it affect us with some rain and wind around here? But we don't want to see any rain and wind for Thanksgiving.
No,
we're trying to get to
not
Grandma's
that
house.
Wednesday, no way.
Big travel day, so I'll keep you updated. Check back in later in the week on that.
Okay.
Well, as we go on in the week, I should say.
Well, we know you follow it for us, right?
All right.
Thanks.